Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So CraftDee. For today's video, we will be creating an awesome project using the Cricut cutting machine to help customize a beautiful decor piece. Now I do want to give a special thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video, and I'm so excited that they reached out to me to make an easy and beginner-friendly tutorial. Now whether you're a new Cricut owner, you're thinking about getting one, or just curious about what you can do with it, you will be so surprised how easy it actually is and how much fun creating with it can be. Now I do have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you are a new visitor to my channel today, I hope you consider subscribing as well. Now if you do have a Cricut and have yet to use it, you know who you are. Get that box out of the closet, set up your machine, and let's get started creating. Now for this project, we're going to use one of these solid wood trays, and I got this from the Dollar Tree in the plus section for $5. You can also get it from Family Dollar for $5 as well. Now I'm going to protect my work surface, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be staining my tray. I'm going to use some Min-Wax stain in the color Early American. So I'm going to apply one nice coat of that stain all over the surface of the tray, including the outside edges. Now here's the tray all nice and stained, and this is what it looks like. Now very important, when you finish, you want to follow up with a paper towel to remove all of that excess stain over all of the surfaces. This will allow it to completely dry and be ready for your image. Now here is the cutting machine that I will be using today. Now this is the Cricut Maker 3, which is the latest machine that Cricut has released, and it comes packed with awesome features. Now this machine can cut over 300 materials, from the lightest weight fabric and leather to even wood. Now I love that this machine has saved me so much time while making my creation, and it cuts 2 times faster than the previous model. Now this machine is a beast, and it is heavy duty, but you don't have to fidget around with cables, since this machine is Bluetooth enabled and you can have a wireless connection. Now there's lots of space to store your tools on the top side, as well as a very roomy compartment in the fold down cover for all of your accessories. Now, another exciting feature of the Maker 3 is that you can go matte free with the use of smart vinyl, and there is also an awesome vinyl roll holder and cutter combo available as well with the smart vinyl that easily attaches to the Maker 3. And so now that you know about this machine, let me show you some other supplies and accessories that I will be using today. Now I will be using an assortment of Cricut weeding and cutting tools. I'll also be using the Cricut Standard Grip Mat, and I like to use this just to help me out with my weeding. I'll be using this Cricut Black Permanent Smart Vinyl. And I'll be using some Cricut Transfer Tape. So now let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and open up Design Space to a blank canvas. Go ahead, we're going to start with clicking Shapes and selecting a square. We're going to change the color of the square just to a lighter color, and then we're going to resize that square up at that size box at the top. We're going to make it 14 inches wide and 10 inches high, and making sure that it's unlocked. Now what this represents is our tray size, so anything we decide to put on our tray we know will fit. So click Text, and we're going to start with the large initial on the back center. So we're going to type in the letter H there, put it in the center. Now I do want to change the font of this, and the font that I'm choosing is called ITC Tyfa Pro Bold. It is a free font in Design Space, so I'm going to select that font for my letter H. Now once I do select that font, we're going to go ahead and resize that. Just go ahead and unlock it, and then we're going to make the size 5 inches by 5 inches for the letter in the center of the tray. Now after that's done, go ahead and we are going to click Text again, and this time we're going to put our family name in the middle, or whatever verbiage that you would like, and I put the Heart Family. Go ahead and drag that to the center, and then when that's done, go ahead and we're going to select another font. So again, we're going to select Belinda, which is another free font in Design Space, and we're going to resize this, and we're going to make it We're going to make this one 11 3/4 by 3.5 inches. Now this is a perfect size for the length of my name, so be sure to adjust it as needed for your project. Now we're going to click weld at the bottom corner, and this actually welds all those words together so they're all a solid piece. So now we're going to click images. We're going to add some corners to it. So type in corner, and as you can see, Design Space has a ton of different corner designs that you can choose from, and I chose this one here, and then I'm going to add it to the canvas. Now when you do add this to your canvas, you notice it is a different color. So what I like to do first of all is change it to the same color as the other items, and this way it won't break out as a different matte print or matte cut when you go to actually cut it out. Now we're going to go ahead and resize it. We're going to resize these to 3 inches by 3 inches, and I found that this size works perfect for this size tray, and I'm going to click duplicate over in that upper right hand corner. I'm going to duplicate this 4 times so I'll have 4 corners on my tray. Now I absolutely love how this layout is, and so now what we can do is prepare to cut out our design. So for cutting, I'm going to cut with the black vinyl first in the corners, and the letter H will be black. Now we don't want the heart family to be black, so what we need to do is go down that right hand panel, and we need to find where the heart family is listed on that list. Now once we find it, we're just going to click the little eye next to it, and what that does is it actually just hides it in the background. That way it won't cut when we send it to the machine. We also want to hide out that square because we don't need the tray square. Go ahead and hide that as well, and then click Make It. Now you'll have this screen that pops up. It'll tell you if you want without a mat or on a mat, and of course our Maker 3 we don't need a mat, but if you're using an Air 2, go ahead and select the mat and then click Continue. Now this will show you how your cut will be laid out. Now being that we're using smart vinyl, I like to make the most of it, so I am going to just click and rotate and fit everything on one line. The more you can fit in the small space without overlapping, the more you save on your smart vinyl. So I always love to try to do this if possible, and here is everything laid out, and if it looks good, go ahead and click Continue. So now we're on the material selection screen. We're going to select Smart Vinyl Permanent, and here are all of the tools and materials loaded into your machine. We're going to leave those as the default, and then once we click the load button, it's going to measure the length, and then all you have to do now is to press go and then cut it out on your cutting machine. It is that simple and easy to get everything started. So now we're at our machine and we're ready to cut out our image. So go ahead and grab your smart vinyl, and we're going to load it into the roll holder, and make sure you insert it along the guides of the machine. Now once it's all loaded, just click the load unload button, and now the machine is calibrating to see if you have enough vinyl to cut out your project. Now after the calibration is done, it's going to prompt you to go, so we're just going to click that arrow, and now your machine will start cutting out your design. Now watching this machine cut is just so satisfying, and it really goes by quickly. Now of course, using the smart vinyl does save on space needed for a mat as well, and that's an added bonus. So now that your image is all nice and cut, we're going to click the eject button. We're going to pull out the tray a little bit, and then we are just going to slice off that vinyl, and now your image is all cut and ready to use. So now all we have to do is go back to our screen, and we need to cut out the heart family in white. So now what we're going to do is we are going to hide all of our swirls by clicking the eye, and then unclick that eye on the heart family. And this will bring just this item up to be cut in our white. So we're going to click Make It, select our mat, and then click Continue. Now here is our cutout ready to go. It all fits on the mat. I'm going to click Continue and start to cut out on my machine. Again, we're going to do this the same way as we did for the black vinyl, cutting it off when it's done. Here it is, all cut and ready to go for our project, and just set that to the side. Now that everything is cut out, we can start removing our vinyl design. Now we're going to need to weed this out, and I love to apply this to my mat, and this just holds the vinyl in place. It provides a little bit of stability when I weed. Now as you can see, a little piece of there came off, but that would be weeded anyway, so that tells you that this cut went all the way through that vinyl and has cut it really well. So I'm just taking my weeding tool and I'm carefully removing that vinyl from my design. I kind of like to wiggle it back and forth until it comes off, and as you can see, it left the design behind, and now all you have to do is to take your tool and get into those small little intricate designs on your cutout. Now the weeding tools are very useful. You definitely just want to be careful around there and make sure you don't weed any areas that are not supposed to be weeded. So once that's done, we can go ahead and remove our wording for these actual tray design, and here is everything ready to go, fully weeded, and now all we have to do is to transfer it. Now in order to transfer it, we are going to be using some Cricut transfer tape, and we're just going to cut a piece initially to cover both of those pieces. So we're just going to cut a piece off and then remove the backing. Now how I like to apply my transfer tape is I like to hold it in the shape of a taco, and then the fold of the taco will be put down right in the center, and I like to spread it outwards. Now this prevents any wrinkling when you apply it, and now you just take your Cricut burnishing tool or your scraper and you just want to really adhere that tape to the vinyl design and remove it from that mat. So to remove it, we're just going to go ahead and first of all just remove the wording and set that to the side first. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut out each one of these pieces, since they will go at different parts of the tray. Now here's everything all cut out into pieces and ready to go. And now you can grab your tray after it is completely dry. Now the first thing we're going to apply is our large initial H. So go ahead and remove the backing from that smart vinyl, and you want to carefully place it in the center of your tray. Now I'm kind of eyeballing this, but you definitely can use a ruler to make sure it's perfectly centered. And once it is, go ahead and burnish that on really well with your tool and carefully pull that transfer tape back. So now you can see that that's all applied really nice. And then the next thing we're going to do is start adding our little corners. We're going to remove the backing of that smart vinyl on each one of those. And here's what you're left with. So you want to just carefully place this one on each one of the corners of the tray. Now I'm just dropping it in place for now, but once I get everything in place and know I don't need any more adjustments, that's when I'll go in with my burnishing tool and actually burnish them down. So I just like to allow a little time for adjustment just in case, and then you could just peel back that transfer tape and everything is nice and adhered. Now I think this looks gorgeous just the way it is, but if you want to continue with personalization, this is where you can add the name or phrase that you would like across the middle. So I'm going to remove this from the backing as well, and here is everything ready to go. You have your name just on your transfer tape. And now all you have to do is just carefully center it across that center initial. Once it's in place, then you burnish that on really well, and then carefully peel back that transfer tape to reveal your project. And now here is everything all nice and bonded to the tray. Now if you choose, you can apply a clear coat of your choice, but it's really not necessary, as it is perfect as is, and I absolutely love it. Listen, I hope that you found this video helpful today and that you are as excited as I am about learning and creating with this fun cutting machine. Thank you again to Cricut for sponsoring today's video, and be sure to check out all of the details about the Cricut Maker 3, Cricut tools and materials, and so much more in the description box below. Now, as always, if you want to keep up with all of my creations, make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. And if you're all about making high-end DIYs on a budget, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen, and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It's absolutely free. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.